Hi, you're watching Movie Guide. I'm Jeremy Carroll, and we're at the world premiere of Horizon, an epic Western coming to theaters soon. Let's talk to some of the cast and crew. So this is a great historical epic that you've created. What do you hope audiences will walk away with from this?
Well, you always start with the basics, like that they got their money's worth, right? The thing is that you make a movie with the idea that people are going to share it. We share a great song when we hear one, right? We read a great book. We kind of, our first thing was finally tells them, I read the best book. And I think movies can have that power where we go, I saw a movie that touched me. I saw a movie that I didn't expect to touch me. And I don't know if Horizon will, but it touched me in many places. And that's the guide I use or decide if I'm going to go ahead and make a movie. Does it have a chance to touch people? Does it have a chance to be something they'll never forget? I guess I could come back to hospital movies or lawyer movies or gangster movies. I feel like I bounce around in my career, but there's something about the American West. When I read something that feels authentic, I'm immediately drawn to it. I just don't want to do any Western. I'd do another baseball movie, but I won't do another one unless it speaks to me as loud as Field of Dreams, Bull Durham, and For Love of the Gang did. There's no chance. I love them too much to make something that's not surprising. So if I made another Western, it would have to feel the way Horizon is felt, the way Open Range was, the way Dance was. My choices have to stand for something, and they stand for an audience.
So doing a historical epic like this has a lot of interesting themes that are pretty relevant to today. What do you think audiences can get out of a story like this today?
It's a movie about a bunch of people taking risks. I think the director's taking a big risk, and you just hope any movie connects.
And what are some of the unique challenges of doing a historical piece like this?
Look, you're working with Kevin Costner. It's a very steep learning curve, I found, for myself, but because he's got such a great cinematic catalogue of work and has worked with some of the greats, so I just tried to listen to the guy and help him tell his story.
So this is a great epic story of kind of the American dream back in the day. How is that relevant for audiences today?
Well, think about it. I mean, really, I don't think we've changed that much with the human condition. I mean, there's back then that we had the Civil War starting up. I mean, we have wars today, and we have people trying to move away from all of that. So we have sort of in our movie, I see them as refugees in those covered wagons. They pack up their belongings, they get the hell out of Dodge, and they don't want to be around all the violence. And they're leaving the inner city. They don't want to be in the rat-infested, place anymore. They want to make a better life for their families and just for themselves. And they want to see blue skies, because the inner cities back then were smoky. They were horrible places to be. And so, people are doing that today, right? I mean, they're doing it today. I mean, look. We have people that are leaving war-torn areas. We have people getting out of the inner cities, and so that's very similar to our movie. I think our movie has a lot of relevance for today's life and the people. As I said earlier, I don't think we've changed a lot. We just want to live someplace in peace. Make enough money to buy the G.I. Joe for Christmas, and have a good job, and food on the table, and that's what these people want as well. And that is just unfortunate that where they ended up moving and settling is somebody else's home. Okay, so there we have the major conflict. The whole Manifest Destiny thing was going on, and it was full on what?
Disaster.
Let's go. And the people just wouldn't stop going. They wouldn't stop going. It's like it overwhelmed the native population, and it was never going to stop. And it hasn't stopped even to this day. I know people back in Chicago where I grew up, in Alabama where I grew up, who are even now moving west. It's not open. Yeah, interesting.
And what was it like working with Kevin Costner as such an epic story?
Oh, he's my buddy, man. He's a great director, great actor, and he's a good writer as well. I mean, he's really quite a nice person. We worked together in JFK way back in the day, this is our second opportunity to get to work together, and I get to do some scenes with him, and we get to work together on camera, as well as I get to be directed by him. And he's really quite easy to work with, and I enjoy his presence and his energy that he brings to set.
So what was it like working on this grand Western epic?
I mean, it's still a dream. Yeah, it's been a dream and a huge honor to be a part of something of this capacity. Knowing that Kevin's put so much work into it, it also makes for our lives and our jobs that much easier. Yeah. Because he's a great leader. He knows what he wants, and he's got some amazing direction.
Yeah. And with this plot line, what do you hope audiences will get out of it today?
Well, the plot lines are the storylines are they're raw, and right now they're unfinished. So I encourage everybody to come back to see what happens to every group of people that are trying to make something of themselves in the West.
Yeah. And how do you think audiences can take these stories and apply them to their lives in today's society?
I think back then, like, almost every decision was like a life or death kind of thing. There's a lot of weight on every decision, and I think that would be a huge takeaway for today's life. That your decisions have consequences.
Yeah. So what are some of the unique challenges of coming up with some motifs and themes for a Western style film or movie, but making it original at the same time?
Great question, because there have been so many great Westerns over the years. And all of them I'm a big fan of. So I was just telling this nice lady over here that I grew up riding horses with my dad. So I went right back to being that 8-year-old kid with a cowboy hat on, riding in Southern California. So it's all that influence. I think that we all as human beings, we sort of gather all that information, and then if you're lucky like me to write music for a living, and you get a director like Kevin Costner, who's the most collaborative, wonderful guy to work with, there's sort of an invitation to really explore what's in your heart, and that's what I did. So I just let my heart lead, and I knew I had to come up with some decent themes, and if they were not good, there you go. Then I probably wouldn't have come back for number 2, and we just finished number 2. So, yeah.
And what's it like working with Kevin again? You guys have done many projects together. Is there a certain synergy that you guys have on these things now?
I would just say that we're kind of two of the same guy, meaning we both grew up in Southern California. We're both kind of part of the surfing thing and sports. He was baseball, I was basketball. And I just think that there's immediately when I met Kevin years ago, we sort of clicked. And I don't know how else to explain it. Some people you just click with, and he's that guy. Whenever I haven't seen him in a while and I'll see him, it's like, hey, Kevin, it's just one of the guys. And I know that seems crazy, it's Kevin Costner, but I always tell him, man, you look great, because he does. He looks so good. And very humble guy too. So I love working with him just because he's humble, he's collaborative, and just a normal guy you want to go hang out with, to be honest with you.
And so you finished chapter 2. We did. Is chapter 3 in the works by any chance?
Chapter 3 is in, there's a script. I haven't read it yet, and Kevin keeps saying, I've got to send you the script. I go, okay, great. The scripts are this thick. Normal script is like that thick. Anyway, so I haven't read it yet, but I'm told it's like each one builds on itself. So the first one, you're introduced to the characters. Second one, you get deeply involved and invested in all the characters. Third one sounds crazy, because I think the Civil War is coming. And, Yeah, and I have no idea what the fourth one is yet. So
walk me through your research process for like a historical movie like this.
Well,
And did anything surprise you in your research?
it surprised me. I did do a lot of research. I had researchers working with me. I had the entire library at Western Costume, which is amazing. I went through all of that, and that's incredible. But the thing that surprised me is how much Kevin Costner loves the actual period look. And I did 120 pages of research, and he would go through page after page and point out characters that even though that guy was on the wagon train, he's like, that should be for this. So, you know, he has an idea of his characters that he wants, and he wants to see, and he has a mental image of how they're going to be. And he's able to see all of this real research and be able to say, you know, like a Remington painting, that's Luke Wilson. That's what I want Luke Wilson to wear. So it's pretty great. He made it all beautifully seamless.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And this is chapter 1, so we got chapter 2 coming up.
Yeah.
Did anything change with the costuming throughout?
Costume 2, yes, many changes costume-wise. We've shot 2.
Okay.
It's incredible. And it's a good thing that we kind of knew from Horizon 1, because there's a lot of things that change in Horizon 2 that are based on Horizon 1 costumes, so that's fantastic. It's a big costume show. I think altogether we have maybe close to 170 speaking parts for the 2 films. Maybe it feels like more. And hundreds, if not thousands, of background, and all kinds of different areas that we had to get into. So
That's a wrap from the world premiere of Horizon. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, and follow Movie Guide for all your movie needs.
If you enjoy videos that follow your values like ours and you want to help us continue, go to movieguide.org/donate, because we're actually a nonprofit. You may not know that, but we're working in Hollywood every day to help families have more choices that follows their values. And also subscribe right now.